The Sports Scouting Report with Lee Brecheen. Brought to you by Medine's Collision Center in Baton Rouge. Take control, choose Medine's. Grosse Savant Lodge, south of Lake Charles, the true sportsman's paradise. Treads and Care Company in Central, the tires you need, the service you want. Harvey Auto in Shreveport, Bossier City, the name you have trusted for years. And Gage in Baton Rouge. Get better connected with Gage. Here's your host, Lee Brecheen.
Hi everyone, I'm Lee Brecheen, your host of the Sports Scouting Report TV show. We've got a great show today. Dutchtown High School, a lot of history. Eddie Lacy, Eric Reed, Lloyd Cushenberry, Efren Reed. You can go on and on. Kelvin York, who went to Utah University. We actually helped him with a junior college at Fullerton, California Junior College before that. But we've got great guests. Dickson is going to join us, Agu, who's a big-time linebacker going into his second year as a starter. Ethan Fields, a big-time lineman, and also the head coach, Guy Mistretta, who's been doing this for a long time. As long as I've been in the media, he's been a coach going back to Redemptorist, Dunham, Livonia, and currently Dutchtown, Class 5A, one of the top schools in the Baton Rouge area. We're going to be right back with more of the Sports Scouting Report.
Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you. If you need a paint job or repairs to your vehicle, go see Medine's Collision Center located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on Kincaid Avenue. The number to call is 357-7983. That's 357-7983. Your Baton Rouge Accident Advisors.
Welcome back. Lee Brecheen, your host. Our first guest is Dixon Agu, who is a very intriguing sleeper. And when I say sleepers, nationwide, I think you're going to hear about him in the next 4 months, especially the summer camps, colleges in state like LSU, ULL, Louisiana Tech, Tulane, and all the 1AA schools. And I think he's a D1 player. Coach is going to come on later and confirm that, coaching him every day. Got a chance to see him play. Later in the show, we're going to have Ethan Fields, his teammate, who's an offensive lineman. And also Coach Mistretta is going to join us from Dutchtown. But I want to go ahead and start off and introduce Dixon Agu. Dixon, good. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.
This is your second year going into, that's not a long time starting. You still got a lot to show your coach, your teammates. You've got the setup of height, 6'2".
6'2".
215?
220.
220.
Almost 225.
And here's what I like most about Dixon. 4.5 GPA.
Of course. Academics come first.
You're about to beat Eric Reed's record. Eric was a 4. Eric was a 4.4 GPA. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
So you got him beat by 1 percentage point on the GPA.
All right. That's something nice.
And I was like, I'll never see another 4.5. Not 40. I'm talking about GPA. Now, tell her your ACT's pretty high too.
I got a 26 on my last ACT.
You going to keep taking it?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to hit the 30s? Does it matter?
I think I can hit it. I think I can get to a 30.
Because you've already, got to 26.
It's just a matter of keep taking it, practice.
Yeah, and because once you hit the 30s, you're Ivy League scholarship offers. What do you think of all this football and recruiting and everything in the last few months?
It's fun going to see all these places, getting to see all the coaches, staff. But you got to find a place that feels like home, a place that's going to accept you.
Are you a home guy, like for your mama's boy?
Yeah. My mom was gonna come. She's gonna have a decision in where I go to.
Would you like to stay close if it was up to you?
It doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah. Did you grow up an LSU fan locally?
I liked LSU, but at the end of the day, if I'm a fan, I'm watching LSU.
Okay.
But playing, it doesn't really matter. Place is best for me.
Who are some of the other schools you like academically in football?
Academically, it would be Tulane because of the pre-med. Looking into Vanderbilt, pre-med too.
Awesome, Nashville, Tennessee. Those are two great for medical. So you want to get into you want to be a doctor?
Yes, sir.
What type of doctor?
I want to be a surgeon.
Whoa.
My mom's an internal medicine doctor. So.
Okay. So you grew up around it. Mm-hmm. What was that like growing up as a son?
She used to always tell me about how much fun she used to have at work, and like she pushed it. It's not like she forced it, but she pushed it onto us.
So you want to intern in a hospital and college also? Mm-hmm. Man, that's good. You got this thing figured out a little bit. What is the toughest subject for you? It sounds like none of them are tough, but
toughest
math was tough for me.
It would be English. Not reading comprehension, but it would be the grammar part.
Okay. But I wanted to brag about this kid's grades. Usually it's about the 40 and the size. He's got the size, 6'2", 220, and you run in that 4.5 range. Mm-hmm. You can cover ground, and you're a good football player too.
Yes, sir.
What do you want to improve on this year for your coach, Coach Mistretta, and your team? I know this is the year to blossom for you.
So losing Dylan, we would have to our offense is going to have to step up, but defense is going to have to step up too. So being able to get turnovers, get the ball out, I want to improve on that.
What do you like most about football?
I like the team aspect, being able to be a part of a team, lead a team, and be a part of something bigger than just you.
You gonna talk coaching and maybe go and run the ball a little bit this year? Just
I wanted to play offense. I mean, wide out, I can go up and get it, run the ball.
You might be too important to play that Class 5A defense. That's a tough league, huh?
It is.
I mean, the schedule that Dutchtown plays, it's not a joke. It's the Dexter-Hands. Every now and then y'all play a Lutcher. You'll play a Hanville.
You got to come ready to play.
East Ascension, which is locally a big thing, right? And Santa Malls of the world. But is there a school that you get amped up about? Now, I might have said one or two of them.
Santa Mall, of course, EA, because they're crosstown rivals. Yeah. But we're not going to play them anymore. But Woodlawn, it was them beating us 2 years ago. It really brought somebody.
Well, like they say, they're down the street. Mm-hmm. That's not far away, too. So you know a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
And they're pretty salty with players.
They came in 2 years ago. They came with a new coach. They came ready to play.
What do you think of Ricky Collins, their quarterback?
He's a great player. He's a great player. He put it on us last year, but another game, I think we have.
There you go. You want to do a shout out to any family or anybody that's helped you along the way?
Yeah, thank you for my mom for taking me all these places, all these visits. Both my parents for supporting me throughout football.
Where are you going this summer? Before we let you go, where are you going?
This summer, we're planning. Purdue is going to be an official.
Okay.
And I'm going to hit up a few camps like Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and I think Vanderbilt.
You like Vanderbilt? I like Nashville. That's a great city. And baseball, I mean, they're good in baseball. Mm-hmm. But football, they're coming.
Okay, yeah.
Got a new coach, new staff. You did good, Dixon.
Thanks.
Dixon Agu. Watch this kid because he's not in those national 300 lists, and he will be when the season's over at Dutchtown High School. We're going to be back. We got one of his teammates, one of his small teammates, Ethan Fields, who's 6'4", 315. He's going to join us, who's an offensive lineman. Another sleeper. Remember Lloyd Cushenberry was a sleeper that came out of Dutchtown. He's the next one. We'll be right back.
Be sure to take your car and truck for all your tire needs to Treads and Care Tire Company located in Central. The number to call is 331-8144. Family owned and operated since 1971. That's Treads and Care Tire Company. Gros Savon Lodge, the true sportsman's paradise. Gros Savon Lodge has fresh and saltwater fishing, alligator hunting, waterfowl hunting, and eco tours. Located south of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Give them a call at 337-598-2357. That number to call again is 337-598-2357, and have the time of your life.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you're enjoying the show. Dixon Agu is going to be a great linebacker. He's probably going to weigh 230, 240 when he's done and still be lean. If you notice, very lean kid. And the next kid carries his weight very well, too, and a big guy, can move. He's going to be a starter again for Dutchtown. He's also got a lot more to show in Class 5A, which, locally we didn't even mention Zachary, Catholic High Baton Rouge, Woodlawn, we talked about that with Dixon. But I want to go ahead and introduce one of the top sleeper offensive linemen in Baton Rouge and the state, Ethan Fields.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me, Coach.
I met you last year with Dixon in the gym with Coach. Coach was like, I got a couple of juniors you might want to meet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I said, yeah, I saw him on film. Pretty good, man. You remind me of Cushenberry.
Everybody says that. Everybody says that.
And Cushenberry, speaking of grades, he was a 4.0 student, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
You're a 4.0 student.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is it with the team? There's like 7 or 8 starters in the 4.0, 4.5, well, 1.45 in Dixon. But is it competition on the grades?
I mean, I just want to be the best person I can be.
That's good.
Yes, sir.
Coach loves that competitiveness.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like playing for Coach Mistretta?
It's nice, man. Like, he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he got going on.
Well, he coached Lowell Collins.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't too bad. He just signed with the Bengals, right?
Yes, sir.
And he's your size. Well, now he's at like 330. But he was your size coming out of Redemptorist. Coach Jeremy Hill, who might still be an NFL guy. I don't know if he's done or not, was with the Bengals.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about Lloyd Cushenberry. What do you think about guard or tackle? How do you feel about those two spots for college? I know you play where Coach needs you, but what do you think of guard or tackle?
I feel like I might be more of a guard in college, but I feel like given a chance, I could still do good at tackle.
I mean, you're put together. You got good feet, good hands. Like Dixon, runs well. What do you need to work on, Ethan, the most?
I feel like I need to work on my footwork, but not like in my just general, like in certain aspects of the game.
You grew up in Baton Rouge your whole life? Your family's from Baton Rouge?
No, my mom is from Alexandria, and my dad is from Mississippi, actually.
Really? Okay, North Louisiana in the family. Look,
Yes,
this
sir.
goes to North Louisiana. So is it like Alexandria or Pineville? It's Alexandria itself?
Yes, sir.
And your dad's from what part of Mississippi?
Cleveland.
Okay, North Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, there you go. So do you like Ole Miss or Mississippi State?
Oh, yeah. I went up there a couple of times already this spring. Loved it. Nice campus.
Who do you like growing up? Who would be 2 or 3 schools growing up that you've always liked?
I've always liked LSU, man, but like I said, I just like football. I like college. I love watching football in all stages.
When did you start playing football? Because some linemen start late, I know.
Yeah, I started when I was like 8.
8th grade?
No, 8-year-old.
8 years old. Were you always a lineman?
Always a lineman.
That's
Always
good,
a lineman.
man. Would center be something that you would do too
Yes, sir.
in college?
Been practicing snapping lately. I know coaches see me as more of an interior guy, so I got to learn how to play all interior positions.
You learning a long snap?
Not
Not that.
Not yet.
That's different.
That is the way you hold the ball is too weird for me. I can't do 2 hands.
Yeah, it's a different release. What do you think of your team now that, I mean, Dylan has moved on to Tennessee, you're running back. What was it like blocking for Dylan Sampson? I mean, he was a great player.
We made the holes, but the way he just hit them were just different. It was just special.
Yeah. As far as your young running backs coming back, I mean, there's never really a drop-off of commitment at the school with Coach Mistretta. Started with Benny Saya. But y'all have some good running backs coming out.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you excited to block for these young guys?
Yes, sir. The hole's going to stay the same. Hole's going to stay the same.
It's important to get those holes out until they get experience, right?
Yes, sir.
So they're not creating the holes. But what do you think of your O-line? You want to talk about any of your O-line buddies?
Oh, yes, sir. Wayne, he's on the other side. He's going to be our starting next tackle. He's got it, man. He's about my size. He's just a little bit quicker. And then we got Hunter. He's going to be on the inside on my side. Man, could pull.
Y'all got a chance to be good.
Oh, yes, sir.
You said you're 6'4", 320 right now.
Yes, sir.
I mean, good weight, man, for you. You carry it really good. Who do you like to play or enjoy to play the most? Dixon said Sandoval and Woodlawn.
I love playing Woodlawn. I feel like I have my best game against Woodlawn every year. But right now it's probably going to be EA because I know guys from there, and I love just talking to them after a game, no matter what the outcome is.
You know what's really crazy? Woodlawn, EA, are 2 of the bigger teams in the state. And now you're a big guy. So you're going to play guys your size, which is a good grade for you in football.
Yes, sir.
Because what EA averages, 280, 290. Woodlawn's 280, 290 with all their linemen. So It's not like you going against guys 5'11", 220, right?
Not at all. Not at all.
How do you think that helps you being a 5A ball guy, playing 5A ball with all these big linemen?
Just helps get me ready for what I'm about to experience in college. Everybody's going to be around my size, if not bigger. So,
shout out to anybody for getting you where you are today, going into your senior year.
Shout out my mom and pops at home for supporting me with everything. Shout out my little brother for just being there with me, man. And shout out to the boys back home.
Camp, we asked Dixon this. He said Purdue, State, some other schools. Where do you think you might go this summer?
Probably going to go to schools that have been reaching out to me that I have an offer from to show them if like any staff changes, to show the new staff what I could do.
Who you've had a couple of big offers lately.
Yes,
Tell
sir.
me about, I saw one recently.
Yes, sir. Indiana.
Indiana's a pretty good school.
Yes, sir. I went up there Sunday.
You like it?
Oh yeah.
Was it cold?
Not really.
No?
It was nice. It was warm out. The sun was out. It was a perfect time to go.
Not just a basketball state.
Not at all.
And that, look, the Hoosiers are nice. It's a big school.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan, good luck to you.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, man. Appreciate it. We're going to come
Sir.
back. We're going to have Ethan and Dixon's coach, Guy Mistretta, who's been coaching for a long time. We're going to reminisce about all the great players he's been around in his lifetime. He's been around a bunch that have made it in college and in the pros. We'll be right back.
Gage has served Louisiana for over 40 years. Let Gage create a custom tailored solution for your business and become your partner in technology. Give them a call today at 225-753-4243 and help your business get better connected with Gage. Looking for a used car? Harvey Autos has 3 dealerships, which means 3 times the used vehicles. They've got everything from fuel-efficient compacts to luxury models, even hybrids, and certified pre-owned with a warranty. Check out John Harvey Toyota, Harvey Subaru, or Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City.
Welcome back. You're watching the Sports Scouting Report. I'm your host, Lee Brecheen. I hope you're enjoying the show. The storm bottomed out on us. If you hear any rain, that's what it is. And look, we're dedicated. We thought we would escape all the weather, Coach, but Coach Guy Mistretta.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We can't escape rain in the state.
No, it's Mother Nature, man. You just go on the fly and be ready to adjust.
And that's something you have to, before we get in our interview, but that's something, Guy, that, I mean, you've been doing this a long time, but you have to plan the rain with your practices.
Hey, and you can't plan ahead. You just,
it's just
every morning you check the weather and you adjust as need be. We have our athletes, fortunately, first period in the morning. A lot of times we'll look at the forecast and we'll practice first thing in the morning instead of in the afternoon, knowing that we'll be in the gym later. So you just kind of adjust, and then there's the storms that knock you out for a week,
then the sun's
and you
out.
come back and you have to catch back up.
Or the sun's out in 5 minutes.
Yep.
I met you when you were at Redemptorist. Obviously, you were a heck of a wrestler at Redemptorist back in the day, I hear. You told me 145 pound.
Oh, that's a long one.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
But you were legendary in that sport. People would tell me about you. And then Redemptorist, I mean, you won some – talk about your state championships. Livonia,
Yep.
Redemptorist. I mean, talk about your state championships early on in your career. I mean, that usually doesn't happen to guys.
Yeah, I
You
was
go 30,
fortunate.
40 years and you don't get
Right.
one.
I was fortunate to be in a good place. First of all, Redemptorist High School was, that's where I went to school, and my dad was a coach there, and it was home to me. And there was a time I'd have thought, hey, I'll be here forever. Sid Edwards became the head coach, and we had just a fantastic staff. Neil Weiner, David Brewerton, Joey Sanchez. You can go on and on.
Byron Dawson.
With these, Byron Dawson came in when I became the head coach.
Isn't that crazy?
But I was Sid's defensive coordinator, and I would have stayed in that position for a lifetime at that place. Sid took us to this dome 3 times. We won 2 of them his last 2 years, and when he retired, I was fortunate enough to get the job and take after him. And we a couple years later, we won another title. And that one was up in Shreveport. That was after Katrina.
That was cold.
17 degrees at kickoff.
I don't get cold easily. I don't like the cold. I'd rather hot. But this was 17 Antarctica.
Yeah.
I had 3 sets of socks on my feet, and I remember going outside on the field, Coach, and I couldn't feel my feet I mean, my feet were frozen. I thought I was in Canada.
Yeah.
And how are you feeling? I mean, it was cold.
I mean, honestly, when you're in that moment,
Adrenaline.
you're playing in a Superdome, you got to drink, or playing in a state championship.
Yeah.
You really don't feel it. You honestly don't. But I remember one big change we made. We let our guys warm up in sweatshirts that week, and so we changed a few things because it really was it's the coldest game I've ever played in.
That's the coldest. And there was a Bastrop game I went to against Minden, was the other cold one. When I went up to see Reuben Randall play and Randall Mackey, those cats, those guys.
That was around the same time, right after Katrina.
Oh, man. And then Livonia. You go to Livonia, y'all win a state championship, and, all of a sudden that program had never won anything like that. I mean, they were decent, but, I mean, y'all took that program to another level.
Yeah, we had played those guys back in the day when Sid first took over Redemptorist, and we had some wars with them. And we really got excited about playing them guys at that point. They slid off for a few years, and then Brew took over.
Yeah.
And Brew really built them up over a 7-8 year period. Got them in the Dome, and they actually lost an overtime game to Union. And then he moved on to Zachary. And that's why I took over, and we were fortunate to get back in the Dome my first year and win a championship. Had some really good players on that Livonia team.
Isn't it crazy how this works out? Sid Edwards is now at Central. You coach with Sid. Neil Weiner was with you. Now he's at Dunham. Yeah. Neil was at Zachary. Now Brew's at Zachary. I mean, it's
absolutely.
And y'all are still strong in this coaching profession.
Yeah, we got other guys. Joey Sanchez is now the AD out at Walker.
Did a great job at St. Michael's as a coach.
He did. Paul Vonado was on that staff. He's with Sid now. He just left us a couple years ago. You could go on and on with the names of guys. So we were all growing up in the coaching profession together, and learning together. It was really a neat time.
And Byron, like you said, came in on the tail end.
Byron Dawson coached with me. Doug Dotson, who's now at Walker, was my defense coordinator when we went up to Shreveport for that championship game.
Got to mention he's an Acadiana grad.
He is. His dad was a legendary coach at Acadiana. The stadium's named after him. So we played them in the playoffs this year, and my first chance to go to Bill Dotson Stadium, and I had to call Doug during warm-ups and talk to him about it.
Doug's a great guy. He was
really
at Como for a long time as a head coach.
Head coach at Como. Now he's defense coordinator with Chad over at Walker, and so we'll be in the same district with him this year. Looking forward to competing against him.
The next segment, Coach, I want to ask you about all the great players you've been around. Not just college guys, but the David Plaisances to the Shelton Sampsons. We're talking about he's got a son now at Catholic. Isn't that crazy? Lyle Collins, all the great, Patrick Queen, all the great players. And then we're going to talk about Dutchtown. We're going to get to Dutchtown and his team before we end the show. We'll be right back.
If you need a paint job or repairs to your vehicle, you've got to go to Medine's Collision Center, located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, on Kincaid Avenue. The number to call is 357-7983. That's 357-7983. Family owned since the 1960s. Be sure to take your car and truck for all your tire needs to Trez & Care Tire Company, located in Central. Call 331-8144. Family owned and operated since 1971. That's 331-8144.
Welcome back. You're watching the Sports Scouting Report. Earlier in the show, we had Ethan Fields. We had Dixon Agu, two great 223 up-and-coming seniors at Dutchtown High School. Dixon's a linebacker. I don't even want to coach, and we're going to get to him with your opinion later, and also Ethan, but we don't want to put them in a box where they are. I mean, they can grow into other positions before this is said and done. But going back to overtime, Coach, you had a lot of good guys that you coached that weren't LSU guys, but you had some big-time players. You had the Lyle Collinses of the world. You had Jeremy Hill. And then you had a guy like a David Plaisance that you coached with Sid with. You had the grit guy,
spectacular player,
the gritty guy, and then you had the Shelton Sampsons of the world. I mean, and then what do you think of Shelton's? I get confused because like he can't have a son right now. Right. And what are you thinking? Because his son, Shelton Sampson Jr. is at Catholic High Baton Rouge. You coached him. I watched him. I'm like, wow, it's like blink.
Yeah.
Here's the kid.
Shelton's probably the first big time super athlete that I ever got a chance to coach. Just a guy that, the good Lord just said, hey, you're going to be a special player. He's so talented, and his son is the same way. And
taller.
He's taller. He's got a great work ethic. He's going to be a really good player for a long, long time.
I mean, the running backs that you have been around, Coach, with Dylan Sampson this past year.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been around some great backs, and then, Patrick Queen, Livonia. I mean, those are some phenomenal players.
Yeah, Patrick was a linebacker, but did a great job. He was All-State.
Running back
he was a
for you.
two-way All-State player for us his senior year at Livonia. And that's something that I used to, Jeremy Hill, I really wanted Jeremy to be more of a linebacker. We'd put him through during the springtime. He'd do linebacker drills. He's the best I've ever seen going through drills. He could have been a special linebacker. Of course, he was a special player as a running back and played in the league for several years. And, those guys, again, you want to say they only come around once in a lifetime. We've been fortunate to have a few more than that. And Dylan Sampson is right along those lines. He's doesn't have the size of those guys, but he has every other intangible you can think of. I tell people all the time, every player, those recruiters come in and they start looking and nitpicking.
Right.
You can find a red flag about anyone.
Right.
Dylan, the least of all. He's the only guy I've ever coached with a higher GPA than 40 time, which is amazing.
And he's got that it stuff.
He does.
You can't put any watches on it. You can't put anything stats on it.
He's a track guy. He's lost one track meet over the last 3 years.
Wow.
In the 100 and 200. But he's not a trackster. He's a football player.
Yeah.
He has vision. He has quickness. He has power at the end of runs. Really studies the game, understands it. Tennessee, and I know he's going to Tennessee. It's an SEC school. I still say they got a steal.
I agree with that.
He's going to be a special player for him.
He's the only running back, Coach, that I've seen in 30 years that reminds me of work done. Not a big guy, but plays big.
So I talked to Steve Schneider about that last week because he's a finalist for the Dunn Award this year, which is next week.
Well,
so
he fits that like a glove.
He does. And more than just, on the field, he's very similar, but his character is a lot like Warwick as well. So and that's what you really look for.
I think Coach Kelly would have took him if he would have been here a little longer.
Well,
because that's his type of
so
guy.
So they came in late, yes.
Yeah.
So when he was hired, the first day on the job, Bill Polian called and came in to visit. He went in home with Dylan, and they really wanted him because, again, that is who they're recruiting now. It's a little different. And back to Dylan's character, he's already committed to Tennessee. He's not going to change that.
Well, you had a guy that you coached in Sid Edwards when you were the D coordinator, and I know he had to give you fits in practice, but I watched him and I marveled. And I, never put a star on him, never said D1. But David Plaisance was the toughest player I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely.
And if you don't know the name and you're watching this from Shreveport or Houma, what was he, 5'7", 8", 170, soaking wet, but he would run through
he was special.
Anybody.
And he had vision and he was very creative running back. He could do so many things. His whole family, tough family, tough, North Baton Rouge. he was who Redemptorist was at that time. So played for Nichols for 4 years and did a great job down there. He's now in the medical field here in Baton Rouge.
Boy, he had some grit to him. Whoa. Yeah. When that guy would turn the corner, he was the only 5'7" guy I would not want to see try to hit. I mean, he was going to take you out and split you like a banana. I mean, he was something. Before we take a break, and we just got all the natural elements today in the show. But hey, it's what you do, right? We almost didn't have a show today, and I think Coach Mistretta, I was like, Coach,
absolutely,
if it's not a hurricane, will you still come with you guys? And he said, yeah, we'll do it.
We'll make it work.
I appreciate that. We're going to take an early break. When we come back, I want to get to Dutchtown. We're going to talk about the history of Dutchtown and all those great players that have come out of Dutchtown under Benny Saya and under Mistretta, and he's done a wonderful job, him and his staff. And the programs at Dutchtown are phenomenal in baseball, soccer, basketball. We'll be right back.
Gros Savon Lodge, the true sportsman's paradise. Gros Savon Lodge has fresh and saltwater fishing, alligator hunting, waterfowl hunting, and eco tours. located south of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Give them a call at 337-598-2357. That number to call again is 337-598-2357, and have the time of your life. Gage has served Louisiana for over 40 years. Let Gage create a custom tailored solution for your business and become your partner in technology. Give them a call today at 225-753-4243 and help your business get better connected with Gage.
Welcome back. Hope you're enjoying the show. We've got trucks taking off. We've got rain, but hey, you know, we got the show in, and that's what matters. And Dutchtown's going to love it. We're going to love it. The state's getting to learn about Dutchtown because we put this out. And I want to mention before we go back to Coach Mistretta, and I'm very challenged socially media-wise. I just got Twitter. You can follow me at Brecheen, but follow us at LA Football Mag, or you can go to Podbean or wherever you get your podcasts, or YouTube. We got it on our website too, lafootballmagazine.com. So you can get this show 5 different ways, social media, and Coach, I'm still challenged on how to do all this. So
I'm the same. I'm basically Instagram, and that's it.
I don't even know Instagram. That's pictures, right?
That's right.
That's right. The history of Dutchtown. Coach Benny Sayah did a great job. I remember going to the first game. I was telling Dixon that. I went to the first inaugural game, and it's a beautiful school. Y'all got a beautiful stadium. Y'all got a lot of real estate, good enrollment. I know Ron Brown was there for a while, principal.
Absolutely.
A great guy. Eddie Lacy, Eric Reed, now Cushenberry, Kelvin York, your guy Dylan that just came out. But the history's there. But your team's not always going to have a bunch of D1s if you got 100 guys.
No.
You've had a couple of years where you don't have those guys.
Right. We've always got good numbers.
Good numbers,
which is great, and we've got good blue-collar, hard-nosed kids that you want to build your program around. Program guys, I like to call them. Every once in a while, you get a special player like Dylan. But yeah, the school's fantastic. The whole parish, Ascension Parish School District, is fantastic. Our administration's really great. They support athletics as a whole and football. We had a chance when Dutchtown was just beginning. We were at Redemptorist, and we were in the same district the first 2 years of the school. So we got to play them. Actually, the year before they started varsity, we played them in JV, and then we played them the first 2 varsity seasons. And their first varsity year, we had to play at East Ascension because Griffin Stadium wasn't finished.
Okay.
Had a great game on a Thursday night, and I remember telling Sid, he and I were talking after the game, how impressed we were with just the fan base and the community being a first-year program, and how hard Benny had those kids playing.
Yeah.
Now, it was the best team we ever had, and we won going away, but they fought to the very end, and they just had spirit, and they had a blue-collar attitude. And I remember thinking, man, it would be a great place to work someday. And 17 years later, here we are.
Well, heck, I watched the band warm up, waiting on you to practice one day. Or it was the day I was running track, I think, and the band was out on the field. And I don't know how many members y'all have in the band, but it's got to be 300 at least.
About 350. Shealy Bell has been there from the beginning of the school. She does a fantastic
Incredible job. She runs it like a football coach.
She really does. They work. Every day that we're there over the summer, they're there as well.
I've never seen a band, and I've always wanted to watch a band because I've never seen a band practice. And I'm sitting off the side waiting on football and baseball. But man, these kids, I mean, do it again. Kind of like a rep with your football,
just
your
repetitions,
quarterback. But they were phenomenal. I was like watching a concert.
Yeah.
I was watching a free concert at Dutchtown High School.
Yeah, we're very fortunate in all our programs. You know, we got our baseball program again. Chris Scheck-Snyder has been there from the beginning of the school. He's got those guys ranked number 2 in the state right now. Our girls bowling team just finished 2nd in the state.
Wow.
We've got a tremendous track program. Just really, really fortunate. The kids at Dutchtown, we're the biggest school in the state. We have 2,500 kids, and our administration does a great job of really impressing on them to do everything. You know, get involved in extracurricular, whether it's the theater, spirit groups, go on and on. We have
two
everything.
gyms.
We do. We have a main gym and an auxiliary gym. We've got another facility that we're able to use. We just put in turf for the football stadium, baseball, and softball. Really, really fortunate.
We were talking about this off the air, me and Jace and Wagaspack that are here, and we were talking about how certain facilities are not on campuses. I noticed Lutcher's got swimming pools.
Yes.
Which you don't see that on campus, so Olympic swimming pools. When is someone going to build a bowling alley on campus? Nobody has a bowling alley, right?
No, not that I know of. You know, you see those pools on campus. We're fortunate that Ascension Parish, you know, we have the pool in Gonzales that everybody's able to use. Okay. Tennis courts is the same way. But those are all on the bucket list to get on campus. I mean, we have a property that we've purchased, and it's just, you know, the ins and outs of putting something on it. It's not a, you don't just flip a switch.
The best running back combo I've ever seen in the state ever was Kelvin York and Eddie Lacy. I'd never seen two 6', 220 running backs the way those guys were.
Yeah, they were spectacular.
They were phenomenal.
We had a chance to coach against them, and it was a.
You felt it.
Oh, man.
You're a D coordinator.
It was a decent ball game. I think Dutchtown won by 9, but we were physically beat up after playing those guys.
And Eddie went to Alabama, all SEC. York went to Utah, made All-American, was committed to USC with Coach Pete Carroll, actually, before he left. We'll be right back with more Coach Mistretta. We're almost done. We're going to talk about his current team when we come back.
So, hey, guys, just wanted to take a minute to tell you about Harvey Autos. If you need a new or used car, there's 3 great dealerships right here worth checking out. John Harvey Toyota, Harvey Subaru, and Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City. Low prices, honest people. Tell them Lee sent you.
Welcome back. Hope you're enjoying the show. Guy Mistretta is our guest, head football coach, Dutchtown High School. Great, great school. It's like a mini college. Academics, athletics. I've even went in the library, Coach, just to check the. I'm
first time for you.
I'm curious, you know, like, hey, man. I mean, you go up those steps.
Yeah,
pretty unique.
It's a beautiful facility.
Yeah, and they're like, where's the library? Well, you got to go up those steps. I'm like, I've never went up steps to go to the library. The library's always been kind of floor level, but Dutchtown High School, your team coming back. Your star has graduated in Dillon.
Right.
But you got a lot of good players coming back. We met 2 of them today. Your quarterback, Pearson's back. Before I forget, brag on him. You said he's one of the top 5 long snappers in the country right now. He's your quarterback, too.
Pearson Paron, he's been a 2-year starter for us at quarterback, and his deep snapping is what's really special. He snapped for us as a freshman the entire season, and I remember my dad coming out there and making mention after the first game, that's the best deep snapper I've ever seen, and he couldn't believe when I told him he was only a freshman. His dad, Jeff Paron, is in our school district, works facilities for us. His older brother, Cohen, was an all-state kicker and punter for us. Went to UL Lafayette and then to Southeastern. So Pierre's got a future snapping the ball. And there's a big camp, hammer kicking camp out of the Northeast that comes down, and they give a camp at Dutchtown for specialists. They come in December, and then again they came last week. So we get all of our guys involved with that, but Pierre kind of steals the show there.
You got some other guys coming back, Coach, whether they're prospects or not, that doesn't matter. They're good players for you. But name 2 or 3 more guys, and I've seen you guys play last year that you were counting on to be leaders for your team this year.
So you just interviewed Dixon Agu, outstanding linebacker. His partner at linebacker, Anson McCaffrey, was all-starter last year. Big old kid, has a future, going to be a good player. He's going to play somewhere in college. Carter Hanberry, outside linebacker. He's a year behind them. He's going to be a really special player. He's got athletic ability. And
Hanberry's a South Lafourche name. That's a South Lafourche name, Hanberry. Yeah. Sorry about that. I just
Ethan Fields came on earlier. He has a mate with him, Wayne McKinney. Looks just like him. You catch them walking down the hallway together.
Twins.
They're the same size if you're looking from behind. Wayne's got really good feet. He doesn't have the experience in football as Ethan. He didn't play until his freshman year, so his upside's really, really good. He has the size, he has the feet. Another of our linemen, Hunter Lowry, is going to be a really good player. We've got a third-year starter at receiver in Leaf Watkins, and on the other side of that, we have a guy who just transferred in the last year or so, and he's a big track guy, Montrell Morris. He's got one of the longest, best triple jumps in the, not only state, but in the Southeast right now.
I'm glad you got him to come out for football.
Absolutely. He's going to come out and play some receiver for us, hopefully. So
I heard the linemen named a lot. Linemen.
Yes.
You need those linemen.
We
You don't
do.
always have them.
And our running back will be by committee this year. So, we're graduating Dylan and Baylor Langlois, who's a really good coach star with him. So we got a bunch of guys that'll be playing. And again, blue collar, hard nosed guys.
Yeah.
Those kind of teams you really enjoy working with. It's the ones that, you get better and better, and you hit your roll at the end. And hey, look out. So we're excited.
And even your top guys are pretty, not overconfident. They're good kids that are not caught up into this. They're very good leaders. They're leaders.
Those two guys,
big time leaders.
They're big time. They're Power 5 recruits.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know it. They're both humble. It's a lot like Dylan was.
Yeah.
They're humble kids. They're leaders. They're working to get better every day, and more importantly, they work to make their teammates better every day.
And you got a new kicker this year. Is it wide open for that? You still trying to decide?
We still, that's kind of open this year. We got a young guy, Corbin Roussel, who's going to kick. Pierre can kick. And we've got another kid that we're excited about, another possibility at quarterback. He's going to be a junior, Ethan Oquan. And if he's able to win the job, it's wide open. We'll start from scratch. But if Ethan's able to win a job, Pierre can play a bunch of different positions. Pierre's going to be one of our top guys, no matter where he ends up.
He's already long snapping. That's one quarterback, and then he could be a receiver, like you said. Your staff, Coach, I always want to give kudos to you guys that work hard with you. Yeah. Y'all live at school, basically.
Absolutely.
This is not this. And look, for mamas that don't have kids playing, seeing these guys, they don't just work during school hours. They work till almost 10 at night, and it's 12 months a year.
Yeah, absolutely. And our two coordinators, Chris Harrell on the defensive side, Mike Janis on the offense. Mike actually took over 2 weeks before the season this year because our longtime coordinator, Kerrigan McCready, moved up into administration. He's an assistant principal now. Okay. He actually took Ron Brown's spot when he retired. Okay. So those guys do a great job, as our whole staff does. But it's more than just football. It's more than workouts. It's everything. We really focus on academics. It's something that 5 years ago when we took over, it was going to be a focal point because, there wasn't a whole lot wrong with the program. There were just some areas that we could improve, and we made that a focus. We hired an academic coach, Shelly Simmons. She does a fantastic job. We pay her a stipend, and she sets up tutoring for our athletes. Okay. This year, we just won an award. It's the first year they've ever had this award. It's National Football Federation is now having an Academic Excellence Award. Wow. And we were the first Louisiana winner of it.
That's good, man.
Yeah, we're excited. We had, of our 24 seniors this year, 12 of them were academic All-State.
I want to mention this. Jack Merrifield, baseball LSU third baseman, junior college player of the year, Dutchtown High School. Coach tried to get him to play football. He didn't
Absolutely, play man. He was a competitor.
Ephraim Reed, who's the running backs coach at Michigan State, played at UL. Yeah, Ephraim Reed, who was third team to Eddie Lacy in York. Yeah. Worked out pretty good for Ephraim Reed, right?
He was a heck of a player, man. The game that we played him, I didn't know his name until the second half, and he was special.
He did pretty good. He was tough at UL, and what a great, those three guys on one team was phenomenal. Coach, I want to mention this before we go, and it's probably not a question you get a lot, but it's a good football question. Game day. The respect with the coach, and I get it real quick too with coaches, but it's like coaches go into their trance of game day mode. Yeah. And you gotta know when the mode starts. Yeah. When does that mode start for you, game day? It's kind of like you got to go in at separation.
Right. We've got enough people in the program to where the preparation and all is there. So I go through the school day. Okay, we have our pregame right after school, and we shut that down about 4 o'clock, and that's kind of when it starts. You kind of just narrow your focus.
Zoned in.
Yeah, you're not ready to hang
I
out.
I always tell Jace, I said, Jace knows this with his dad coaching, but after 4, when you see a coach, tell him, hey, good luck, but no interviews.
Yeah, it's always a little different with everyone, but
it's game time. And then you go watch the game, and coach is ready to start. I mean, once y'all go to team,
that's the thing. We so appreciate you guys and all the media for everything they do for our kids, and we want our kids out there. So you really want to help as much as possible.
But as the media, you got to understand that too, though, because you're trying to coach a game, and you're trying to win a game.
Absolutely.
And wait till the game is over.
Yeah. And we're all competitive. I mean, we're in this business because we were competitors growing up, and come Friday night, I don't care how long you've been in it, you've got the got the jitters, and you're excited to try and win a ball game.
Your dad coached, my dad coached, and I knew what my dad at the age of 5 when I was eating Fritos and didn't know anything. I barely knew my name, but I remember, we're going to the game. Yeah. Dad's he's in that game mode, man.
Yeah, growing up.
My dad was a D coordinator when he was coaching.
Growing up in that was just fantastic. Just knowing every Friday night it was going to be the lights and the atmosphere and the band playing and the whole bit, and Krispy Kreme donuts on the way home. That's what I remember.
I remember going with my dad in 1976 to Broadmoor, and at the age of 6, my thing was I couldn't wait to stop at 7-Eleven to get a Slurpee and a comic book. I said, I'm going to go with Daddy again. And all I did was hold the footballs in practice. I was probably about 2 foot tall, but those things, does anything stick out with you and your dad?
I was a ball boy from 8 years old, and got run over on the sideline at Redemptorist one time, and just being around it, going out to watch practices during the summer and stuff like that. But you mentioned 7-Eleven. I'm telling you, we had Krispy Kreme every Friday night after the games, and that was something just always pops into my mind.
My dad used to take me to get tamales and Krispy Kreme on Plank Road by Redemptorist, just to go when we were little. And then the old Tony's Seafood, which is still around. And I remember the grandfather was behind the counter. That's how long ago it was. Yeah. They just had catfish
all
and
those
bald
guys,
peanuts.
Big Redemptorist family. I tell you, it was tough practicing at Redemptorist back in the day. You either had Krispy Kreme smell in the morning or Tony's Seafood in the afternoon, boy.
You were spoiled.
Get your stomach growling.
Did you quit donuts at any time when you were coaching at Redemptorist? Did you give a donut roll to your team?
No,
you got a donut shop right there. I mean,
no, that was kind of the special thing, man. That was a privilege. We'd bring them in for them on Saturday mornings.
Well, they lose their metabolism.
Oh, they're different. I can't have them anymore. But we bring in donuts for the Dutchtown kids on Saturday mornings now. So.
The good things that go with sports.
Absolutely.
And, getting to be close. Coach, thank you for taking the time. I think the rain might have left, hopefully, so everybody can get home safe. But
sounds good. Thank you for having us, man. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Guy Mistretta, I want to thank Dixon Agu and Ethan Fields, 2 Class 223 football players for Dutchtown, 2 of Coach's leaders. And we talked about Pearson, his other leader, too, and many more. Watch Dutchtown this year. We'll see you this week with more shows. We got more shows, and check us out on YouTube at LA Football Mag or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be right back. Excuse me, we're ending the show, not coming back. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen.